one team that I want to talk about that I don't believe has a quarterback problem, I think they have one of the best quarterbacks in the league, is J-Rob's New York Jets. All right, J-Rob, I'll start this off with you. Do you think the New York Jets can compete for the AFC East championship?
Oh, I mean, to be honest, whether we can or not, we don't have a choice. We have to. We only have about, I mean, this might be the last 2 years we get an A-Rod. This window is short for the New York Jets. And so because this window is short, we have to be able to compete there. Now, I will say this. The difference between him and Kirk Cousins, I think, is clearly based in when they got injured. Because I think in game 2 versus the Titans, Aaron looked a little bit more healthier. And I think compared to the 49ers game, he just looked more comfortable. Looked like he just felt like a little bit more, just looked back to being able to play football. And, one of the benefits of when he got hurt was that he got hurt the first game of the year. He's had a legitimate 12 to 13 months to recover. So when I look at Aaron Rodgers, I think we go as far as he takes us. I think as long as he has veto power over Nathaniel Hackett at times when it comes to play calling, I think we'll be okay. But I think they have that type of relationship where he can be like, "Man, I'm not running that. Nathaniel, we're not going to be going with that play." But I think we have the playmakers around him. I think Braylon Allen might be emerging, and we might be in for having the best, be able to compete for one of the best duos at the running back position in the league. If this kid is as advertised, I think people forget he's the youngest player in football. He's not even 21 yet. He's still 20 years old. And I don't know what's up with the defense. I think it's time for us to pay Hassan Reddick.
I say,
pay the samurai. Yeah. Please play the samurai. Because I need him to take everything he learned in Japan and bring it up on that defensive line, because I've never seen a rush defense for the Jets look like that over the last 2 seasons. It did not look great against the 49ers. Didn't look phenomenal against the Titans. We potentially have lost CJ Mosley. So I feel like, we have to get this Hassan Reddick deal done. We need the extra firepower on that side of the ball, especially with his type of production that he can provide. But I think everything's in front of us. Chris, I'm taking it week to week. I'm going week by week. This is why I really elected not to draft any Jets players to any of my fantasy teams. I don't want to be emotionally attached to any of them. The only guy I've got on waiver wires, I'm going to take that rookie Braylon. And he'll be sometimes in the lineup, sometimes not in the lineup, because he's a rookie. So outside of that, I think everything's in front of us. Everything is a possibility. And after looking at the Ravens' offensive line and their still lack of wide receiver production and consistency, I like our chances out of the AFC right now. I really do. I think we have a legitimate shot at this thing.
And see, here's the thing, J-Rob. Before the season, I might have told you this. The Jets were my Super Bowl pick. Now, I told people after that 49ers game, everyone's like panicking about the Jets. I'm like, relax. It was a tough spot to begin with. I picked the 49ers, and I thought they were going to win comfortably in that game just because there's so much coming into place with the Jets. The Jets are going to be a team come November, December that you're going to start to see, oh, this team's going to be a real problem for anybody in the AFC. And it's because, look, that defense, it's really good. I still think it's one of the best defenses in the league. It's going to form into shape here, I think, later in the season. You add Hassan Reddick. I'm telling you, this Will McDonald kid, I think you have a younger Hassan Reddick and Will McDonald. That kid can play. You add Hassan Reddick to that. That's one of the best pass rushers in football. Like that is an incredible pass rush on top of the fact that you have a tremendous secondary as it is. And my thing with the Jets, a lot of people slandered them last year, like, oh, it's the same old Jets, man. I'm like, their quarterback got injured on the first series of the season. Like, they didn't have a quarterback. Like
you can't win, bro.
They paid for a quarterback. The quarterback suffered a freak injury in the first series, and now they have their quarterback back. And Aaron Rodgers, by the way, Does he look like Aaron Rodgers like he used to? Not yet. But there are some plays in that Titans, even in the 49ers game. You saw he got the 49ers to jump, threw that ball down the seam for a touchdown. There were 2 really nice throws that he had this week. There was that, I think it was the wheel route to Breece Hall. I think.
And Breece Hall. And then there was a swing route to Braylon.
There was the fade ball to Mike Williams where I'm just like, a ball's not going to look prettier than that coming out of any quarterback's hand. So, and look, that running back combo you talked about, I don't like Braylon Allen. I love Braylon Allen. He's gonna be a player. And you add that to a room that already has Breece Hall, one of the most dynamic running backs in the league. This team, they're still figuring some things out. And luckily for them, they have a pretty light schedule over the next few weeks. Thanks. I expect this team to be a contender in the AFC. And I think they're a better football team than the Buffalo Bills. I really do.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm a literally go opposite of y'all. I'm not high on the Jets at all. At all. And look, I will be fair and say you can't really judge them against the 49ers because the 49ers are top 3 team in the NFL, and Aaron Rodgers' first game back. That's a pretty daunting task for your first game back at 40 years old. But let's keep it a being. Aaron Rodgers, 43. He's 40 years old. 40 years old. I added 3 years, but he's 40 years old, y'all. And so I think his best days are behind him. You got he had his MVPs, in 2021, 2022. He wasn't that good. Green Bay was 8-9. 8-9. And we see now Aaron Rodgers hasn't passed over 200 yards. His QBR is 18th in the league, 47. I don't see that same pop. Now he's still Aaron Rodgers. He's gonna make some great throws, and look, definitely a step above Zach Wilson for sure.
That ain't saying much.
For sure.
Yeah, you say it much.
But they're closer to that 8-9 win, fighting for that wild card than winning the AFC East for sure. Now their chances are a little bit better because of what's happened with the Dolphins into it, and that's definitely a fact. But like you talk about this defense, they haven't been able to get home. Jermaine Johnson, he's out. You better pay Hassan Reddick. I mean, you talk about a guy who hasn't played and has had like the most upside, Hassan Reddick. I mean, pay the man the way that this is going. I mean, you might want to pay this guy already. And I see this offense, Allen Lazard, Aaron Rodgers, they have that connection, but it's really like outside of Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, Allen Lazard, who's going to
So who you got winning the division in the AFC East? If you believe that we're going to be
all right, I'll say I did like the Dolphins, but with the Tua thing,
their first 2 games, even with Tua, their first 2 games had you confidence in it?
I got
the first 2 games the Dolphins played, you had you confident that they could win the division. Dog fight with the Jaguars, then the way they played before Tua got hurt. That team.
I mean, I like how they played versus the Jaguars more than I like how the Jets played the Titans. That was a dog fight. And A-Rod ain't look too good. A-Rod ain't look too good.
Oh, come on, MJ. And then we're gonna go, and then you're gonna sit here and tell me the Buffalo Bills. Let's be honest here about the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen, phenomenal, top 3 in the world at his position. This is not even about him. You're telling me that wide receiver core is something to be formidable? You think James Cook is going to come in and just run down the throats of this Jets defense? I think you are mightily underestimating the Jets, but not just underestimating them. I low-key think you're looking at this is the Jets, and I'm fine with that. The history speaks for itself. I'm fine with that. The history speaks for itself. So it is hard to get behind this. It was hard for us to get behind the Lions, and we've gotten behind the Lions. But when it comes to just the situation of the division, I mean, I like Jacoby, not sold on the Patriots. Skylar Thompson should not be coming in and doing anything. If we can't go 1-1 with the Bills at least this season, then we have legitimate issues. I feel like it is clear. Like if we go by roster, the Jets right now have the best roster in the division. So we should be.
Then I think their roster clears, by the way, too. Like, and not only that,
clear as day.
Josh Allen is definitely tremendous, but like I'm not ruling out Aaron Rodgers playing at a very, very high level this year. Just because we talked about it with the quarterback age thing, like, yeah, he is 40, but at the same time, like, if Aaron Rodgers can play 80% of what we saw in 2021, that guy is not far behind Josh Allen.
Come on now. Was he 80% of what he was in 2022? He's closer to that.
See, but I do think that was a bit weird, though, that year in Green Bay. So I understand what you're saying, why you're a bit hesitant with Aaron Rodgers coming off that season. I just look at Aaron Rodgers and I say, breath of fresh air in New York.
Thanks.
And I think that means something for him. I think that there was a lot of politics in that Green Bay organization that were really bogging him down. I think he started to feel unappreciated within the organization. And I think we all agree here. We work better when we're appreciated by our place of employment.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's big for Aaron Rodgers. And I think he's attacking this new part of his career with much more fire than he did the end of his Green Bay career, in my personal opinion. Like I do believe in that.
Let me say his last point, because one of y'all talked about the relationship, the work dynamic between him and Nathaniel Hackett. Mm-hmm. I don't know about y'all, but the best people that I work with, they challenge me. They ain't yes man. I don't think it's very positive to have a situation that Aaron Rodgers is going to overrule Nathaniel Hackett. He don't even respect Cuz for it.
But Nathaniel Hackett isn't a great offensive coordinator. He should.
That's the thing. That's the thing. At least with Matt LaFleur, he could respect the guy. He could be like, all right, like I can respect. You really know what you do. I'm not going to say Nathaniel Hackett don't know, but it's levels. Matt LaFleur, Nathaniel Hackett, like it's levels to it. I think that's a dynamic too. Where
but it's a level to coming in with and this is crazy. I'm defending Aaron Rodgers, some of the egregious behavior he showed in Green Bay, but MJ, LaFleur is a rookie head coach. You're talking to a 4-time MVP, Super Bowl champion, first team All Pro, 40 plus, almost 50 touchdown seasons. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. You gotta sometimes come on, bro. Like that's like, and I'm fine with it because Bruce Arians challenged Tom Brady. I'm with you. I'm totally with you.
So do you think that's what I'm saying? Do you actually think Nathaniel Hackett is going? I don't think he's going to challenge A-Rod. He's just happy to be there. I'm happy to have a job.
Let me ask you this. If I was one of these. For example, let's say I'm one of these kids that was maybe on Player's Choice that just decided to come up on Player's Choice or come on this platform as a fan and tell you about your Eagles. But you know good and well, I don't do the same level of research on the Eagles. I haven't had as much experience over time, covering the Eagles. How am I supposed to tell you how the Eagles should be running their organization? And I've not had nearly the level of experience covering the team as you, or being a part of the organization. I'm fine with wanting to, change and evolve and be innovative, but I'm not I'm not taking over. And Nathaniel Hackett has not shown. Listen, I watched what happened last season, even with Zach Wilson. Has he shown enough ability as a play caller, or shown enough things that make you confident of him as a play caller to just hear Nathaniel?
No, and that's
35. What do you want to do here, bro?
And that's where my hesitation lies. We're gonna see, but that's where my hesitation lies.
Right.
And here's the thing, right? With Nathaniel Hackett, it's kind of the same thing that's going on in Dallas right now with Mike McCarthy. Both Aaron and Dak both have a large amount of control over that offense, and it's similar in the way McCarthy and Hackett and Nathaniel Hackett both come from that same tree of the West Coast offense with Paul Hackett. So a lot of their philosophies are similar, which is 1990s West Coast offense. And that stuff just doesn't work in the NFL today. It doesn't. Like both of those offenses, I think, are going to be elevated by the quarterbacks just kind of freestyling and getting the most out of, honestly, outdated play calls.